The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and we're talking taxes, we're talking money. This time of year is really important because what we're doing, we're getting you ready for next tax season. And really, when you do a tax return, it really covers all gamuts of your finances. So that's part of what we try to do this time of year, we try to cover areas that are not specifically so much tax law as some of the things that touch tax law. And as a result, we have a special guest again for this show. But just before we have our special guest, and I will tell you, if you know anybody that's looking for a mortgage or has problems with a mortgage or has interest rates like over 4%, you want to make sure you stay listening because we're going to help you with your mortgage today. But in the meantime, I have Tiffany Fabian with me. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Everybody loves the weekend, you know. And Chris Fabian.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, Christopher. And you and Tiff must be very good friends, brothers and sister.
He's my best friend.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your husband and wife.
Yes,
right?
he's my best friend.
Okay, so, hey, Chris, let's talk about, there's the new form that's going to come out this year. We talked about it, I think, last week, is the new 1040 SR.
Right, that's the form. They're proposing it. It's not out there yet. It's for seniors so the new simplified form, not very simplified.
Will help them with their standard
It
deductions.
will help
They'll get their
them
increase.
be more simple. So it's,
But
they
not
say
simple.
it's going to be easy, but I don't trust anything
Well,
they
it's
say.
interesting because it looks more like the old 1040 form.
Right.
Which maybe is why they're hearkening back, because maybe seniors who had been doing 1040s for 40, 50 years, they looked at that thing last year and said, what?
Yeah, I know we're getting a lot of calls for people going, I'm going for medical or I'm going for my star, and they want page 2. I never had to give them page 2 before of the 1040. I don't understand why.
Right. I mean, at last year's tax return, if you looked at it, was a bunch of half pages, and it was impossible to follow. And so I'm thinking that maybe they got enough flack from the senior citizen community that said, hey, let's do it like it looks like last year, page 1 and page 2, and it makes sense. So the 1040 SR is coming out. And then we just discovered this week problems that people are having that we want to nip in the bud, right?
Right. PayPal. Not just PayPal, it's selling stuff online. People, no one will catch that. I don't have to report that. Wrong, because PayPal, eBay, whoever handles your money has to report that to the IRS. So now we're starting to see the 2017 letters come in where people were using PayPal or another source, and they didn't report that income on their tax return. And of course, the government just says, oh, your sales were $28,232.
So just send us $10,000.
Right. They don't know what you paid for it.
I've got lots of people who didn't put 1099Rs on their tax return too. And they said, well, I had the withholdings, and so I don't have to put the 1099Rs on there for pension withdrawals, but they do have to put them on there.
Right.
And
so if you're somebody who's been so lucky to get that batch of letters, maybe because you were selling some stuff online and you just didn't think you had to report it, or you took money out of your pension plan or your IRA and you didn't put that down, don't just pay it, because, for instance, the first thing on the if you sold stuff on eBay, there would be a cost basis and expenses to produce that income. And so what we're able to do is take that income and whittle it down using deductions that you're entitled to, so that you don't owe as much or maybe anything at all.
And then that person who had the 1099R, I looked at their return and they had used the money to purchase a house in Florida that they used for a rental. And when they did their return themselves, they didn't depreciate the rental. They didn't take their travel to the rental. They didn't take the management fees. So when you get a letter,
Don't just pay it.
Don't just pay it.
Don't just pay it. And some of those, I'm telling you, if you get the thing Internal Revenue Service in the corner, just come to EG Tax. We'll help you. There's no charge for us to look at it, and we save people thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's part of what we do, right?
Right.
Right.
All right, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us using 3930, and we have a special guest today. For those of you who would love to buy a home, and you say, "Oh, I just got bad credit. I can't afford a loan. I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to put down." We have a special guest today who will kind of walk us through how to get a mortgage, how to help your credit, and we just thank Jesse Meyer from Cross State Funding for being here. Hey, Jess, how are you?
Esther, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So here I am, 25 years old. I maybe only got $5,000 in the bank. Am I out of luck with the mortgage?
No, not at all. Obviously, we recommend talking to a mortgage professional as soon as possible. Believe it or not, if you're at that age and have that much saved up, you're already ahead of the game compared to some people, which is crazy. But no, we always encourage people to come in, talk to us. Even if you have just a few $100s saved up, I mean, we put people in a retention program just to get the ball rolling at least. So if we can't get you approved right away, we can
Now,
soon.
when Chris and I were 25, 26, we got our first house. Is it harder for a 25-year-old today than it was 20 years ago?
I wasn't around at that point, so
But they were.
Just had my 25th birthday, but I think it has gotten easier, even over the last 6 years.
Easier?
Of me doing this. Yeah.
Easier. Okay, I was
Easier,
thinking
for
because
sure.
of the 2008, 2009 mortgage conundrum, it got harder.
Well, it's a little safer for people. I don't know about harder, but they just have stricter guidelines. The houses, obviously, appraisals are more strict now due to the mortgage crisis back then.
Right.
All right, so it's not just all about just getting a home either. Sometimes you should look at refinancing. I know that when I'm doing tax returns, I'll look at somebody's statement that says the amount of interest that they paid, and by the way, that's still deductible. And I'll say, "Gee, what rate is your loan?" And they'll say 7%, and they think they shouldn't refinance. I mean, that's something that Cross State Funding helps somebody do as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. We actually were a refinance company before I came on. When I came on, I started the purchase division, but yeah, we still do refinances all the time, especially now more than the last few years because rates are the lowest they've been in quite some time. So. Even in today's seller's market, like you guys were just talking about last week, it being a seller's market, people are still buying, refinancing. So refinances are very popular still.
And I know one of my clients, he owed lots of money to the IRS, and you guys helped him to refinance his house and pull out money and use it to pay the IRS.
Which was really a smart thing to do because
Yeah,
he was paying them tremendous penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so when you did that, another thing I got to say is that his credit wasn't stellar, and you guys have tools in place to help with people's credit. Can you speak on that?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a short break right now. We're going to be back with Jesse from Cross State Funding. Right after the break, our phone number is 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. You can text us at 3930. This is an opportunity to talk to a mortgage person without emailing them. Jesse's going to give you all the scoop. Give us a call after the break. We'll be back on the other side. Hey, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, and we're not only talking about taxes, we're talking about things that help you deduct on your taxes and things that that all of us need, especially if we're homeowners, and that's dealing with our mortgages, our mortgage rates, how to get them. And we have a special guest in studio, Jesse Meyer from Cross State Funding, who's going to demystify that mortgage process. And for those of you that have done mortgages, you know that they ask for everything from a pint of blood to a urine sample. It's what it feels like. Jesse, we thank you for joining us in studio. What I'd like to know is, Is it just as tough as it was a few years ago? I mean, there's all that verification that you have to come up with.
It's not nearly as tough. I'd say it's a little bit easier, probably, just mainly with us. We've broken the system down and just how it works incredibly to walk people through the process. I just had a kid close. He's 19 years old, and it took him 31 days.
Wow.
Really?
So
Wow.
In New York State?
In New York State,
Wow,
yeah. In New
that's
York State,
remarkable.
yeah. It's a lot of people are still pulling 60, 80-day closes, writing on the contracts.
Wow, that's remarkable.
But we tell all our realtors, if you come to Cross State, do a 30, 45-day close, nothing more.
Wow, that
we
is
don't
remarkable.
want to
That's
stretch
cool.
it out anymore.
Boy, and I'll tell you, if you're sitting there with a 5% mortgage, 6% mortgage, even 4%, right? They should consider refinancing. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think at any rate, pretty much, if you're just looking, some people even drop the terms, take cash out like we were just talking about before to do home improvements, debt consolidation. So there's so many different reasons to refinance, especially in today's market with how houses are appreciating the way they are. People don't realize the amount of equity they have in their homes.
Which would be free money too. If you
Literally,
refinance, and just a little tax tip here, you refinance, take money out of your house, it's all tax-free money
yeah.
on a personal residence. So,
Which is
it's
huge.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
Well,
huge.
why don't we go to the phones, and we're going to go to Debbie. Hey, Deb, how can we help you?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I just have a question regarding my son's home, not my own at this moment. He bought a house with his girlfriend. They are not married, obviously. And that was about a year and a half ago. And she is looking like she's leaving. And I didn't know if he would have, or he doesn't know if he would have to secure a whole new mortgage, or is it possible just to remove her from the existing mortgage?
Good question.
That is a very good question, Debbie. I couldn't even tell you how many times I come across that. The only answer, unfortunately, is he would have to refinance.
Yep. Okay.
That's the only possible way. If they share the title and the mortgage, that's the only thing they could do. People have tried different ways, but if they're both on the mortgage, a refinance has to be in place. What should have been done, and what I tell a lot of people that aren't married that are buying houses together, sign an equity agreement. That will just evenly split everything up accordingly. So
Because now they have to pay for closing fees
exactly.
and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
those
Well,
other fees.
that's great. All right, so if you aren't married, you got an
No.
asset together, you're both on the title and the mortgage, you're going to have to refinance.
He's been-
Now, tell me, who does that equity agreement?
Whole year and a half. So I don't know if she's looking for any monetary value coming out of this. But
She
I
just
don't know.
wants her name clear, probably, right?
Pardon?
If she just wants her name clear, even if it's only been a year and a half, they still it would be a rate term refinance. He would literally just have to refinance her off, get her name off the mortgage, and start over again. And unfortunately, just like Esther was saying, he would have to pay the closing costs and taxes.
Yeah. Now, the eligibility factor, because they used both of their incomes to secure the mortgage in the first place, would he, I mean, he's only 24, I should say that. He's got a pretty good credit score of 760, but I don't know if his income would allow him to refinance.
That's the tough part. That's usually the toughest bridge to cross when we come across that situation. And what happens if people can't afford it? Sometimes they look to people like you, Deb, his mother,
Why is
to
your mouth open, huh?
see if he can refinance. But other times, the last result, unfortunately, is to sell the house.
Okay. All right.
But Debbie, you said he had it for a year and a half, right?
Yes.
So if he keeps it for 2 years, then he could sell it, and the gain is going to be completely tax-free.
Good point, Esther.
Very good.
So, I mean, it's not like he's locked in. He's got 6 more months to go. So he might want to consider selling it, and he probably could make a profit. With the housing market the way it is, you'd be surprised.
Whole new septic system for the tune of about $10,000.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, boy.
gonna help him.
But where can they can get a hold of you, Jesse, by calling 984-6968.
That's correct.
984-6968 is where you get a hold of Jesse Meyer from Cross State.
Okay. Same
Okay?
way.
And Jesse, what did you say she should have done? An equity?
Yeah, sign an equity agreement. Pretty much, if they didn't sign that, sometimes it can go to small claims court, what have you, just to figure out the equity resolution because sometimes they could be fighting over, I want to live here, no, I want to live here, so it's always smart, sign an equity agreement.
I mean, let's face it, when you're splitting up, emotions sometimes can get the best of anything. I always tell my clients, it's wonderful you're in love right now and everything's great and she's the best person or he's the best person. But I always think about what's the worst that could happen and really kind of play to that end, because if it can happen, sometimes it does happen. And so you're very smart to tell people to do that.
Yeah, I know, especially when people come in to see me for business consultations, they're starting a partnership or a corporation with somebody. I always say, what's your exit plan? Right. And they look, what do you mean? We're just starting. Well,
we like each other.
Yeah. Now you do. But you should always have an exit plan.
Always.
And you hate to say that, especially it's like going to someone who's getting married. Oh, did you sign a prenup?
Yeah.
But
That's true. But like Debbie's son, a couple of months he can get out completely income tax free if he sells it at a gain. So
Correct.
That's not a bad thing.
Yep.
And he might want to just not have a house.
And
He
then,
can always get another one.
he would also consider calling Jesse or somebody else to see if he would qualify for a mortgage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, he
okay,
should never.
Let's go to Sierra. Is it?
Yep.
Hi, Sierra. How can we help you?
Hi, I'm just calling. I've been renting for a few years now, and I'd really like to buy my own home, but I'm a little afraid that my credit is not where it's supposed to be. Not really sure where it's supposed to be, but it seems kind of low. So just kind of wondering what.
So do you know what it is? What is your number?
Yeah, last time I checked, which was like 2 weeks ago, it was in the lower 600s.
So Jesse, speak to that.
Sierra, you're probably can probably get approved even at a low 600. But what we do for people, we have a retention program. So even if you were like the lowest of low scores, or if you had no credit score whatsoever, we bring you in, we sit you down, just have a one-on-one together, and we pick out a plan and give you a time frame and the steps to do to get you in a house as quickly as possible.
So the HUD mortgage is a lower threshold. Am I right, Jesse, for your credit score?
That's correct. So conventional, no matter what, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are 620, and then HUD doesn't technically have like a credit score limit.
Okay.
If you get an approve eligible, you get an approve eligible. So I've approved people at 580, 590. So.
Oh.
So maybe she would. She might.
Yeah, very
And now,
well.
what is the income? The house that you can get in Western New York at a HUD? I know that, like when Chris and I were looking, we didn't qualify for a HUD because the house we wanted cost too much money, and so we had to go traditional.
They just changed that this year. So the maximum loan amount for an FHA, which is the HUD home, I think is $314,850.
Wow.
So if you're buying a house for $325, $330, putting 3.5% down, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Wow,
Should
that's
she
great.
now? Should Sierra have any cash down?
Sierra, even if you have a little bit saved, I mean, there's things you can do like roll the closing costs into the mortgage. So if you're looking for just a first-time homebuyer's house, like $100,000, if we can get the closing costs rolled in, you really only need a few thousand, and you'll be good.
now,
Okay.
That's good.
Is there is seller participation allowed still? In other words, can they help you with the down payment? Is that still allowed, Jesse?
No, so for the HUD home, the legal rule is you have to at least come up with that 3.5% down
How
payment.
about in a conventional?
On your own. Conventional, you can have everything gifted, so that would be similar to.
So
like having
in
the
this
sellers cover up.
situation, if she finds a home and the seller is willing to participate and give her part of the down payment at closing, she wouldn't need any money necessarily.
If she does a
Of course,
traditional.
it being a seller's market, it probably is a little
Yeah.
harder to get somebody to do that.
Yeah, it certainly
Right?
makes it tougher. Multiple offers always
So-
make sellers' concessions tough.
So Sierra, Jesse's phone number is 984-6968. 984-6968, and he's again from Cross State Funding.
now I have a question.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Sorry. There used to be a long time ago, 10 years ago, the first-time home buyer credit for people. Is there any first-time home buyers for mortgages to help assist people, or is that a thing of the past as well?
No, that's still existent. Buffalo has some grants. Niagara Falls has some grants for first-time homebuyers. As for lenders' products, oh my gosh, there's so many. I could get in here and chat for hours about the different products.
So that
that's
might
for-
be something Sierra could look into
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So for a first-time
So
home
what
buyer.
do they? So Jesse, what do they do if you're a first-time home buyer? Do you contact the bank, or do they go through you?
They go through us. All our first-time homebuyers, no matter what, first-time homebuyers and veterans and returning clients, we always waive the processing, application fees, underwriting fees for them. That saves them a decent amount of money right there.
Wow,
So
that's great.
yeah, so that's huge for them. We treat our first-time homebuyers like family. We hold their hand literally through the process. Just walk them through, get everything going. It's confusing. It's never easy.
I know Chris and I have used you twice now, and you guys have always been amazing and very helpful. And I think we got to go to break.
Awesome.
Okay,
what
I'm
Frank's
Esther
saying.
Gillies, the tax lady. We're here with Jesse Meyer from Cross State Funding. If you are thinking about refinancing, or even you haven't thought about refinancing, you can give us a call, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. We're going to break for the news. We'll see you on the other side.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
this
getting
is-
your friends ready to go move your house.
Move
Music.
your house.
Yeah, to move your furniture into your new house.
That's true. I'm Esther Gillies, the tax lady from EG
On a
Tax,
sunny Saturday.
8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. You can text us at 3930, and we have Jesse Meyer here from Cross State Funding, and he is demystifying the ability to get a mortgage. I know a lot of people, Jesse, just kind of give up. I just had somebody I was counseling the other day, and it's almost like a deer stuck in the headlights. They have bad credit, and so they do nothing about their credit, and the bad credit just follows them year after year after year. And so you guys have the time to help people to straighten out their credit?
We do. We spend a lot of time. Actually, our secondary pipeline, it would be called, of those people that we help. It's pretty much like our main duty is fixing people up, giving them a plan, six months, a year down the
Yeah,
road.
you were just saying on break that you had someone very, 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 very low 500s a year ago, and now he got him in the 600s, and he bought almost a $400,000 house.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. It took him 8 months. He followed all my steps. We stayed in touch every month, and he just closed $412,000.
All right, so let's just kind of talk about that, Jesse, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that they just think they could never own a home, and think about it, all those rent receipts that they're doing, they're just throwing it in the toilet. There's nothing you can do. There's no asset value. This big influx in appreciation, you don't get any of it, unless you can buy a house. So what is it that the first thing that you do? Obviously you have them come in, I'm assuming.
Yeah. A lot of people I have come in. We're licensed in the entire state of New York, Florida, and California, so a lot of people can't physically come in. So we do Skype meetings, phone calls, long phone calls, of course, covering all this. But yeah, we just walk them through. We get a very good idea of their financial and personal situation, just to feel them out when they want to get a house, when they're ready to get a house. A lot of people that qualify for a house can't technically afford one at that point, so we put them in budget plans and all that stuff. And just like you were saying, Esther, it's terrible how many people waste their money renting. So many people I help that paid more money in rent than their actual mortgage payment with no asset. It's
And
crazy.
that's why we started buying our branch offices, because the rents are going away. I mean, there's appreciation all over, and so there's appreciation on commercial property as well, and it's just less expensive to purchase it with a mortgage.
100%.
And then you own it too. So now, you said that you guys do all kinds of mortgages. Do you also do ARMs? Or are you strictly fixed, or do you have all loan products?
We have all loan products. I do maybe an ARM every other month, just being honest with you, just because fixed rates are almost identical to ARMs right now. Fixed rates are awesome. They're very low. But yeah, we do FHA, conventional, VA. We love helping out our veterans. USDA, those are for rural properties.
So what is the rate? What are your best rates?
Standard FHA right now is higher threes, so anywhere from a 3.7 to 3.9, and then conventional are the low fours, so anywhere from like a 3.9 to a 4.3.
Wow, so it's actually higher to have a conventional mortgage versus an FHA.
It is, yeah.
Now,
it
is there still a 0.5% that they charge for the mortgage, like for the insurance on the FHA?
And that's the caveat of it right there, is you may have a lower rate with FHA, but the mortgage insurance is generally higher, and you have it for the entire 30-year mortgage. Conventional, no matter what, it falls off once you obtain 20% equity in the house.
So I had a client the other day that has a 2.5% ARM. And so and they were saying to me they were thinking of refinancing. So that wouldn't be something that you could touch in this market, right?
No, yeah, unless he wasn't being truthful. I'm sure he was, though. 2.5 is very, very good. He must have a good occupation or something to obtain
facilitate that.
Or could he put a lot of money down?
Yeah, you can buy the rate down as always. Yeah, you could always buy the rate down. He's probably in a 5-1 or a 7-1 ARM, which means 5 years, 7 years, and then it adjusts accordingly.
Well, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. Our text line is 3930, and we have Jesse Meyer here from Cross State Funding. He is, you guys were number 2 in Erie County, right, last year?
Jesse was.
Yeah, personally. Right?
Oh, Jesse was, personally.
Yep, and then third in
Now,
Niagara.
is Niagara County looking at an insurgent's appreciation, or is Niagara County still lagging behind Erie?
No, they are still lagging. Erie is phenomenal right now, mainly because of the city of Buffalo. But Niagara's coming up too. I have a property right now in North Buffalo that I bought last year. It appraised for $250, and just did another recent appraisal this year. So 12 months later, and it came back at $305. So it just shows you Erie County is really going above and beyond. But Niagara's creeping up. It is.
Now, is the city of Niagara Falls pretty moving at all, or is it mostly Wheatfield and the suburbs?
Yeah, mostly Wheatfield, the suburbs, Pendleton, North Tonawanda.
But Niagara Falls, not
Niagara
so
Falls
much.
is staying stagnant for the most part.
I mean, what a great opportunity
I know.
if somebody were so inclined, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. We always say all the time, every time me and my friends, we go out, and Clifton Hill and on the Canada side is a little bit different from Clifton Hill to Niagara Falls side, so.
Yep.
I mean, I feel sorry when people come into town and they
I
want to go to
know.
Niagara Falls,
I
and I
know.
think,
Why?
not really. Do you have your passport? Is what I ask.
Yeah.
I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our text is 30, our text line is 30.
Yep, and we have a text question and 2 callers.
Yeah.
The text says, actually, Chris, if you could read it.
I am 58 and have 12 years left on my mortgage. My mortgage balance is $38,000 at a rate of 5.5. The house is worth about $100,000. I have no savings, but excellent credit. Suggestions?
What do you think, Jess?
For that, it depends on what he wants to do. If he only has that many years left and that low of a balance mainly, that rate could definitely be better. Like I was just saying, somewhere in the high 3s, low 4s. For something like that, my only recommendation, if he's looking to save money, we could get him a lower rate and extend the term from 12 years back to 30 or whatever he started at. Or if he's looking to do some home improvements, debt consolidation, it looks like he's got the equity, so that would definitely
Now, can you
work.
do a 10-year mortgage?
Yeah, for sure. We can do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
So really, on his let's say $40,000, if he dropped 2%, he would save only $800 a year over 10 years. That's $8,000, but it's still a savings. But then the cost of doing the loan would be prohibitive, right?
Exactly. So at that point, Esther, it might be close to a wash. That's what
Yeah.
I was saying. If his balance was higher and he had 12 years left, different story.
But
know?
again, many times people come to see us, Tiff and Chris will tell you, and they're in between a rock and a hard place financially, and they have all this equity in their home
That's
that
what
they
I was
could borrow at a
thinking.
very low rate and pay off high credit cards. And I think, but they look at their credit scores because of the credit card payments and balance, and they just don't know what to do. Is that something that you guys are successful at?
Yeah, absolutely. We have credit software that pretty much tells us the cheapest and easiest way to help someone get their credit up accordingly. And sometimes paying off the credit cards, it could actually hurt you, if you're doing the wrong thing. Some people just clear their credit cards completely. It sometimes drops your score. Usually you have to stay, a little bit of a balance or something just to show your credit worthiness still.
Right.
So everybody's situation's different. That's why I always recommend just, don't listen to all the people that say, pay this off, pay off all your
I
collections.
know that is absolutely
Talk to a
true. We watch
professional.
Talk to a
people.
professional.
We watch people take money out of their 401k plan. They're under the age of 59 and a half, and we end up saying, well, you're going to pay 40% on that with the state and federal and the penalties,
Unbelievable.
and it's horrible. Okay, let's go to our phone calls.
We got Josh from Lancaster.
Hey, Josh.
Hi. So I've been trying to buy a home recently, and I can't find any that are within my price range. And I'm just curious if the housing market will improve in the near future.
Yeah.
Improve?
I think
Well,
they mean
maybe
more,
lower?
more inventory.
more
More
inventory. Josh, if you don't mind me asking, what is your price range? Even a rough idea?
Around 100,000.
Okay. And are you looking to stay in Lancaster?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely the tougher thing out there.
There isn't much inventory.
Not at that size. He would have to come more towards the city of Buffalo and the outskirts of Lancaster just to find something.
Now,
like
what
that.
if he got a double? Could his price that he wants
Yeah,
to pay
yeah,
go up?
yeah,
That's an idea, Josh, is that you might want to get a double where you rent out half of it and you live in half of it. And so then you get a little bit more latitude and more
Right.
inventory.
You can use something called future rent, Josh, on that double. So let's say you find a double in Lancaster for 150, and the general rent for those is like 800 on each side. We can literally use 75% of the
Wow.
projected rent as additional income. That's a lot of money. That's almost half the mortgage payment.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, it is.
And
helps a lot of people.
it used to be back in the day, that's how people got started.
Yeah.
They started off with doubles. There's a lot of rental property in Lancaster and Depew.
yeah,
You know?
certainly, absolutely, different kind of buildings. Yep.
Okay, again, if you want to get a hold of Jesse, his phone number is 984-6968, and he's from Cross State Funding, and he would certainly help you. Okay, and who else we have, Chris?
We have Mr. Bill from Orchard Park.
Hey, Mr. Bill, how can we help you, sir?
How are you doing today, Esther?
Good.
Good. I got kind of a question for both for you and for Jesse. I'm thinking about, I got 5 years left on my mortgage. I'm thinking about doing some refinancing to get some money for paying off debt. But my question is, I haven't filed my 18 tax return yet. I did an extension, have some things that hadn't come in yet. And I'm just wondering, do I need to get my taxes done first, or can I start the refinance process?
Very good question.
Well, Jesse, what do you think?
Very good question. If you you said you did file an extension, Mr. Bill?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so if you filed an extension, you're good. We would just take 16 and 17s with a copy of your extension, and as long as the income looks good for 16 and 17, then yeah, that's not a problem.
Now,
at all.
what if he didn't file his 17 or his 16 return
Then he would have to go back
and file
at
those
least start
returns?
with
Because we
those.
do
Yeah.
lots of people who haven't filed
In years.
and so
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
even when people are doing bankruptcy or applying for Social Security disability, I mean, you have to get your back taxes
It was
in.
interesting.
Yes.
I mentioned that I was with somebody the other day doing some counseling, and they had financial problems. And the first thing we were talking about what they owed, and then I said, but of course you got all your tax returns done. And this gentleman said, no, I haven't filed for 5 years. I said, have they been sending you letters? And he said, no. Well, you know what that means? I said that you probably have refunds coming. So here's this opportunity for him to have gotten refunds, and he just didn't file because he was afraid of what the answer would be. So, the whole thing about getting your house, getting a house is sometimes getting your house in order.
Absolutely. Just getting everything, fine lined and comb through all the mistakes or whatever happened before to get everything organized.
Right.
To,
And it's interesting, when I got all done with him, he said, this is the first ray of hope that I've had in years.
Wow.
And that was just so great, because, you really don't know where to turn, and you don't know who to talk to. And people are calling you all day long, trying to sell you extensions on your car warranties and all this stuff.
Wow.
And they're all after you, you
Yeah.
know?
That's a good
All right,
point.
I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930. 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930. We are talking to Jesse Meyer from Cross State Funding. If you think that you would like to refinance, maybe you got some bills that you'd like to pay up, maybe your interest rate is a little higher, give us a call, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we'll be back on the other side of the break. And for you youngsters who want a mortgage, this is music to rock by. And we got Jesse Myers from Cross State Funding and Studio. Jesse, do you guys do commercial loans too?
We don't. We don't do commercial.
got
All right,
to.
so strictly residential.
Strictly residential, yeah.
But you said you're also in Florida,
Yes,
right?
Florida and California.
And
Esther was
California.
selfishly asking you that question.
I see that.
Well, I don't know. Well, I will say M&T Bank has been good to us.
Good.
Yes.
Good. That's
We love
usually who I
M&T.
refer people to.
We
M&T or
love
Key.
M&T Bank.
Yeah.
How about, and I know we have callers, or we have a text here, and again, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. What if somebody had a bankruptcy? How poison are they?
It depends. Chapter 7, Chapter 13, two very different beasts. Generally 2 years after the 7, they can get approved FHA. It's all about building your credit score back up, though, because one of the biggest faults with bankruptcy is people file the bankruptcy, okay, and then they furthermore keep on missing payments on stuff, and
Yeah.
then it's just shooting yourself in the foot twice.
Okay.
So you
So
got to
it's
build
like they
yourself
didn't
back
learn a
up.
lesson.
Exactly.
But if, let's say somebody did a bankruptcy, maybe they were getting divorced or something, and their credit score was terrible, but then they go and get one of those credit cards that they put the money in as a
secure.
secure
Yep.
credit card, and they really are being diligent and paying their monthly payments. How long before they can? And they did a 7, which would be the full bankruptcy, right? So how long before they would be able to actually apply for a mortgage?
It depends on the person's situation, the loan program, of course, but generally they should have someone review it, probably a year and a half after they discharge it,
Okay.
just to get some ideas going, because a lot of people can hit that 2-year mark, go FHA, and then you're set to
Yeah.
go.
And FHA is much kinder, right?
Yes. Well, that's the HUD one we were talking about earlier. Appraisals, like I said, are stricter, so they make sure just that the clients are getting a nice, safe house, because it's generally a first-time homebuyer's product.
Right.
Now,
Right.
we have another question. Sorry. I know we talked about this off the air. A lot of kids, we're talking young kids, first-time home buyers, they come out of school and they're in debt. Their student loans are killers and they think they can't buy a house. And you were saying earlier, it depends on if they're on an income base or if they're in deferment or...
Yeah, depends. Mainly depends on income and deferment, just like you were saying, Chris. But if they're going conventional, so if you have a conventional buyer, they have better credit. A lot of my doctors and nurses have this, because generally, unfortunately, they have more student debt than most. Tiffany's waving her hand over here. But if you're on an income-based repayment, meaning that you have a balance of, let's say, $80,000 and you're paying just $100 a month, and it shows on your credit bureau, that's what we use against your debt-to-income ratio. But if you're not paying anything at that moment of time, the rule is we have to use 1% of the balance against your payment. So once again, if you have $80,000 and you're not paying anything, we literally have to take $800, because that's 1%, and use that, subtract that off your income, which hurts a lot of people,
But you think about this with the appreciation in the real estate market in Western New York. If you are somebody that has student loans, and you're saying, well, and you're struggling every month to make the payment, you really ought to look at a refi, because you could take and pay at 4% or less every month on that debt and clear it up. Boom, you're done.
Absolutely.
Because people don't realize how much their home has gone up in value. And here you're sitting making those gigantic student loan
8%.
payments, and you could refinance and take the money out tax-free and pay off the debt.
Which is huge, just like
I mean, because it ain't going away any other way, right?
No, unfortunately.
Not unless you die or you become incapacitated or unable to work. So, All right, we have another text.
Yeah, we do. It says, Jesse, do you have an info sheet on steps to improve your credit score?
Yes, we do. We have general information pamphlets.
On your website, or-
Website, if anybody can contact me via email or phone number, 984-6968.
And what is your website?
It's crossstatefunding.com.
But-
And then if you're looking to get pre-approved or even check out everything out, we have the rights to preapprovalquickly.com. So
Okay.
that's another.
And I know one of the people at our office, they were buying a house and their credit wasn't stellar. And you guys, they just made a phone call to you, and you guys over the phone remotely told them how to improve their credit and worked on improving their credit too.
Yeah, I think we were on for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was able to assess the situation very quickly. I sent her over just an email of the steps she needs to take.
Right.
Told her it would take her about 2 months, and she was like, "I'm on it. I want
That's
a
so
new
cool.
house."
That's awesome. Doggedly pursued it.
Yep.
It's just like when a doctor tells you what to do to get better, you gotta follow
You
their
have to follow
advice.
the steps, and that's what it is. Because a lot of people, they don't listen. Or, we can help out as much as we can, but if they're not doing the steps, I can't pay stuff off for them. So.
But and in working with people in numbers, doing their taxes, looking at the problems that people have, so many times it's just that they need some hope, because so many times they've been shot in the foot. They've done the steps and it really didn't happen, and somebody just wanted that. That application fee, and nothing really happened. And I can think about offers and compromise, Tiff, where you pay some of these national firms, they make you pay $5,000 up front and they never do anything.
And then they take
And I
something
think
every month.
People that have trouble with their credit many times, it's because they're unsophisticated
Yeah.
and they don't know, and they're the first ones that fall for some of these schemes. And it's so great because we know for sure that you guys have integrity.
Yep.
And when you say you're going to help somebody, you're going to help them.
Yeah, and then Jesse, we have a daughter in law school, and she's in Chicago. Her rent, get this, her rent is $3,000 a month. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Is that right, Chris?
And it's
3,000.
only
A
1,000
little
square foot
less, but yeah.
apartment, isn't
About
it?
20. So my point is, for all those renters out there, it would be better to put your money towards a mortgage
Absolutely.
than $3,000 a month in rent.
And wouldn't you also say, Jesse, that there is a house out there? It may not, and I think HGTV is where I'm going. You may not get the Taj Mahal your first time at the rodeo, right? But there's nothing wrong with getting something that you have to put a little money into, some sweat equity, because you'll get the money back out.
It makes it more your house. It makes it more of a home. That way,
I
too.
remember one of Esther's first houses, it didn't have a basement, right, Esther? Or it didn't have a way to get to the basement or something? Right? You had to put,
I don't
you had to put
remember that
on
house.
Lake
I don't
Orion.
remember that house,
On
Tiff.
Lake Orion. What did you have to do there to the house?
Oh, well, there was no way to get to the downstairs. That's true.
There was
That's
no way to
a million
get-
years ago. But we put stairs in.
Right.
There you
And
go.
and I think Esther's advice is really good. If that you start with that house, the last 2 out of 5 years you can sell it, make a gain, and the
Well, I
money's
will
tax
tell
free.
you, I'm always looking at Zillow, and I look at the cheapest house in the market.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Because the cheapest house in the market may be the one that you can make the most money off of. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Location,
I mean, just
location.
for those people that are listening who say, "Oh, I really have to have that granite kitchen. It's got to be all white cupboards, and I got to, the landscaping." I mean, then you're going to pay for it. But if you look at something maybe that Grandma had, she maybe didn't put any money into it, and it's a good house, but it isn't flashy. That's a perfect house to look at.
And there's a text that says, "What is your email address, Jesse?"
Yeah, my email is Jesse, Jesse, at crossstatefunding.com, and there is 3 S's with cross and state there.
Oh, it is CROSSS.
Yep.
And if anybody, if you didn't get his number, his name, anything like that, you can call us during the week.
Yep. And if
we
you
can-
want to register for school too, it starts in October. We're getting a head start, and so our tax school starts in October. It meets twice a week, or there's an online option, and great way to learn taxes and hopefully come and work for us.
Right, and I would tell you, Jesse, I really appreciate that you would come and join us on a Saturday. There's not that many great Saturdays in Western New York, and
No.
and we just appreciate that you would come in. And I will tell you, if you have student loan debt and you're wondering how to pay for it, look at the equity in your house. If you got a higher interest rate, look at the equity in your house. If you want to take some money out and you're thinking maybe I may not buy another house, you can sell it if you lived in it out of the last 5 years. Up to $500,000 is tax free. Where else can you get tax free money except for the sale of your personal residence? And Jesse is there to help you if you have marginal credit, great credit, refinancing.
No credit,
He will help you. No credit. He'll help you. And again, his phone number is 984-6968. 984-6968. Where are you located, Jeff?
Where headquarters are in North Tonawanda on Oliver Street, so we're actually looking into a second location now, local somewhere, probably in Buffalo, like in Elmwood, something like that. So,
Okay.
But yeah.
So
stop
where's
in
the
office.
hottest place that you see right now?
Oh, North Buffalo. No matter
Really?
what. Just like I was
Who
saying.
would have thunk?
Yeah, yeah, right?
Right?
Seriously. Like I was just saying,
Buffalo.
my house appreciating almost 17% over the last 12 months just for minimal upgrades. I mean,
wow.
central air, little stuff.
I have one client that has like 50 rentals, and he started off at UB, and some of them he paid $35,000 for. And the last time I saw him, I said, "You are a gazillionaire. You are a gazillionaire." And he can bundle all of these and actually do an exchange and buy a plaza.
Yeah.
Not pay taxes.
Literally.
I mean, what's happened in Western New York is unbelievable.
It's
And I will
awesome.
tell you, people that are looking for ways to make money, real estate is your answer. And it's so good that the bank will loan, what, 97, 98%?
Yeah, exactly. 97.
All right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. If you need the best tax help, you're getting love letters, give us a call during the week. We'll be able to help you. If you need Jesse, you can call him at 984-6968, Cross-State Funding. Until next Saturday, I'm Esther Golias, Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian, and our special guest, Jesse Meyer. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.